and Goranga. Trinadapi sunichena taradeva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Hare Nama Hare Nama Hare Namai Vakivalam Kalo Nasyeva 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 Gatiranyata. Krishna Varnam Tvasha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayayar Yajanti Hi Sumedasaha. It is the statement in the Srimad Bhagavatam that in this age of Kali, the recommended process of sacrifice is known as Sankirtan, which is two words. Sam, meaning complete, full, kirtan, glorification, singing, describing, chanting. But it is Krishna Sankirtan, which is recommended in this age of Kali. Specifically, Krishna-kirtan. Why? Because when Shukadeva Goswami was finishing his instructions to Maharaj Parikshit on the bank of the Ganges, approaching the seventh day, when the snake bird would come as predicted to kill Parikshit Raj. So one of the final statements that Shukadev gave to Parikshit, Kale dosha nide rajan asti eko mahan guna kirtanad eva krishnasya mukta sangha parang vrajet. Shukadev said, my dear king, since Krishna has left the planet, the age of Kali has begun. The age of Kali is the age of quarrel, hypocrisy, and confusion. And in this age of Kali, it is an ocean of inauspiciousness, an ocean of faults, bad things, one wave after wave of inauspiciousness. But Shukadeva Goswami says there is one good thing you can say about the age of Kali. One. Kirtanad eva Krishnasya. Kirtan. Singing, glorifying, describing, chanting. Eva. Certainly. Must. Krishnasya. He could have said Shivasya. He could have said so many names. He specifically said Krishnasya, the kirtan of Krishna. So this Hare Krishna movement is not some concoction. It is not some new religion. It is the recommended religious process in the age of Kali, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, according to the very statement of Shukadev as he's finishing his teachings to Parikshit. Parikshit's about to give up his body. So Shukadev is giving exact instructions, preparing him. So then he said, Mukta Sangha Parang Vrajet. If you do this, what kind of kirtan? Krishna-kirtan. Then you will go back home, back to the abode of Krishna. Krishna's abode is not in Trump Tower. Krishna's abode is not within this material realm. Krishna's connection with this material world is occasional, once in a day of Brahma. But apart from that, Krishna has his abode, which is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, my abode is beyond the manifest and unmanifest material nature. And my abode, no need of sunlight, moonlight, electricity. No need. Why? Everything is self-luminous. That doesn't mean that there's not a sun and moon in Krishna Loka, because there is. Otherwise, how Krishna does rasa dance every day in Krishna Loka? So there has to be a moon. There has to be a sun there. But there's no need. We need, because this universe is dark by nature. We need that light bulb known as the sun. We need that night light known as the moon. Otherwise, this material universe is dark. But Krishna's abode is self-illuminated. And Krishna says, once having gone there, you don't come back. You reach there, you don't come back. So, tonight, for my first sermon, on Monday, I was posed an interesting question. A question in terms of something in the Bhagavad Gita. And by Krishna's grace, Krishna gave me the proper understanding. Because Prabhupada once said that this shloka that I'm about to chant right now is the most important shloka. I just read this yesterday. Yasya deve para bhaktir yata deve tatagaro tasyaite kathita hiarta prakashante mahatmanaha. To whom is the Vedic knowledge revealed to? Who can understand the Vedic knowledge? Because it's not a question of simply reading the book. You have to be able to understand it, comprehend, realize it. That is not simply academic. That is a gift from God. Now, who is eligible to receive that understanding? This verse that I quoted is from the Upanishads. So this verse says, who can understand to whom is Vedic knowledge revealed? One who has complete faith in God. Number one. Complete, unflinching faith in God. Number two, and simultaneously unflinching faith in the spiritual master. Both have to be there. Unflinching faith in God and unflinching faith in the spiritual master. Why? Because spiritual master is the one who reveals the knowledge. As Krishna said to Arjuna in chapter 4, try to learn the truth by approaching a self-realized soul. So, equal faith in Guru and Krishna, to that person the Vedic knowledge is revealed. So, in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the chapter begins by Arjuna asking a question. I want to see how you are pervading this material universe. I want to see your Virat Rupa, your universal form. And Krishna responded to Arjuna, Arjuna, you cannot see with your mundane eyes. No, you cannot see like that. You can see when I give you the eyes, when I give you that vision. So Krishna said, you want to see? I will show you. And so Krishna manifested the universal form. And Sanjaya describes to us. And then Arjuna offers prayers to the universal form. And one of the key moments there, Arjuna is seeing the universal form. He says, who are you? What is your mission? And the universal form says, I am time. And what do I do as time? Destroy. That's what time is doing. Just like you go to the store, you buy some milk, but there's an expiration date, right? It's already built in. Anything, canned goods, bread, everything, you look, what is the expiration date? After that, you don't eat. So everything in this material universe has an expiration date. And Krishna says, I am that expiration. I put that there. Because I am this time element. And what am I doing? Gradually, 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 you're dwindling. Dwindling. You all know. You're looking in the mirror. You're seeing it every day. Ladies, you too. You feel it every day. You're seeing it. So, time I am, and I've come to destroy everything. So after Arjuna sees this universal form, after he offers prayers, he now says to Krishna, after seeing this universal form, which no one has ever seen before, I am happy, I am glad. But at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. In other words, when you look at Radha Raman, you're not afraid, are you? Because why? The form of Radha Raman is very pleasing. You go to some temples of devatas, they have very fierce forms. Like there are temples of Lord Nrsimha, Ugra Nrsimha, very fearsome. Or you go to temple of goddess Kali, very fearful looking. It does not invoke love. But when you look at Radha and Krishna, there's no fear there. It's a very loving manifestation. But this universal form, Arjuna says, this has disturbed me and it's made me fearful. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. So that's significant. There are many lords. There are many gods. But Arjuna says, Krishna, you are the God of the gods. You are the Lord of the lords. That's not me saying. That's what Arjuna is saying. That's what so many rishis and sadhus say in Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what Lord Chaitanya says. I accept that. But Arjuna is saying, Krishna, you are Lord of Lords. So he wants no more to see this universal form. Then he says next, O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, because he saw thousands of heads and thousands of arms and thousands of bellies when he was looking at the universal form. And he saw Bhishma and the Kauravas entering the mouths of the universal form. He was destroying them. I wish to see you in your four-armed form with helmet, club, wheel, conch, lotus flower. Those are the symbols of, everybody say, Narayan. He has the four-arm form, and in each of the hands, there's something. And depending on which hand has which thing, different name is there. 24 different forms, 24 different names. Like Keshava, Sridhar, Rishikesha, the different tilak markings, Vishnu, Vaman, Madhusudana, like that. 24 original forms, depending on how the different things are placed, which comes first, left to right. I long to see you in that form. In other words, Arjuna knows that Krishna has many different forms. So he says, I'm done with this universal form. Now I want to see your four-armed Narayan form. So Krishna then says, my dear Arjuna, this universal form I showed you, I was happy to do that. I was happy to do that. And that was done by my internal potency. Internal potency. Krishna has internal and Krishna has external. This is explained in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Two potencies, material, spiritual. The spiritual energy is Krishna's internal energy. The material energy is his external energy. Just as we have Durga and Shambhu, they represent the external energy. Radha and Krishna represent the internal energy. Radharani is Hladani Shakti, internal. Okay. Now this universal form, Krishna says, no one else has seen this before you. There have been other universal forms. For instance, when Krishna entered the assembly in Hastinapur to make the peace proposal, Krishna showed another universal form. But this one that he showed Arjuna was special, was only for Arjuna. Then Krishna says, again, he repeats it, before you, no one has seen this one. And you can't see it studying the Vedas or performing sacrifices or charity or pious activities or by severe penances. No, that's not how you see. So then Krishna says, so you have been perturbed, you have been bewildered by this universal form. Let it be finished. End it now. It's like you go to the movies. It may be a very thrilling movie, very exciting, but at some time, movie's over, you take your popcorn, you go home. Right? Because it's a movie. This universal form is just like that. It was a movie. Krishna was this. There is no universal form. It was a display Krishna put on a movie known as starring universal form, starring Krishna. So now he's saying, okay, let it be done. Now with a peaceful mind, you can see the form you desire. So he wanted to see now Krishna's four-armed form. So Sanjaya now is speaking to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is blind and he's away from the battle, but Sanjaya, by his mystic yogic television, he's giving a live report to Dhritarashtra. Step of the way, every step. So Sanjaya says, now that Krishna has spoken, he displayed his real four-armed form. Now this is where the question somebody posed on Monday. The way Prabhupada writes, having spoken thus, Krishna displayed his real four-armed form and then at last his two-armed form. So the doubt came. This person was thinking, oh, this four-armed form is the real form of Krishna, not the two-armed form. So he wanted me to explain. I said, yes. Here's the understanding. When it says here, he displayed his real forearm form, it was because, as I just said, the universal form was not a real form. It was a show. Krishna has no universal form. It doesn't exist. It's a movie. You understand? He just displayed it. But there is no universal form. This is also confirmed in Bhagavatam. Krishna does not have a material form. This Virata Rupa is a conceptualized form for those who cannot accept the deity. That's why there is a meditation on the universal form of the Lord. It's there in Srimad Bhagavatam, in 2nd canto and in 3rd canto. It's very clear. But it's a conception. And the Bhagavatam is very clear. Krishna does not have a material form. He has a spiritual form. So when he says his real forearm form, he's simply saying that the universal form was not real. His forearm form is a real form. You catch that? That's why he's saying real. And at last showed his two-arm form. So that's the first point. The distinction between Krishna's two-arm and four-arm form, those are real forms, whereas the Virata Rupa is not a real form of Krishna. It's a display, like a magic trick, right? Maybe you've gone on vacation somewhere. Once I went to Hawaii, and they had a magic show. So when you're watching them, how did he do that? It seems to defy everything. But the magician knows it's just magic. It's hocus pocus. It looks like somebody has disappeared or he's pulling $1 out of somebody's ear. It looks, but it's not. That's the whole idea of magic. It looks, so this universal form, it looks, but it doesn't exist. Whereas Krishna's four-armed and two-armed form, they are real forms. Now, how do we resolve? Is the real original form four-armed or two-armed? Now you go to the next verse. Arjuna then says, when Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, O Janardhan, seeing this human-like form. So the human-like form is two-armed. Human-like form is not four-armed. So he says, because the previous verse said, Krishna first showed his four-armed form, then his two-armed form. So at this stage in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is now resumed, because on the chariot, Krishna is in a two-armed form, right? On the chariot, Krishna has two arms. Okay, so he showed his four-arm form, then the two-arm form. He says here, O Janardhan, everybody say Janardhan. Seeing this human-like form. In other words, he showed the four-arm form, he put that away, now he's back to his original two-arm form. Seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and am restored to my original nature. So the two-armed form of Krishna, Somya, that's the word, most beautiful. So now Krishna says, okay, so you follow the train. He's seeing the universal. Arjuna says, take it away, I want to see your forearm. He shows him the forearms. Then after that, he goes back to his original form, two-handed, okay, as things before. Before the universal form, Krishna's on the chariot. He has the human-like two-handed form. He showed the universal form. He showed forearms. Now he's back to where we started, two-arm form. You follow? Okay. Now listen to what Krishna says. This form of mine you are now seeing. So which form is that? Two-handed, because the four-armed form is gone now. This form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. In other words, to actually see Krishna in his original two-armed form, that's very special. What does he say here? Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form. Because in the heavenly planets, if the demigods see Krishna, they see four-handed. They don't see Krishna two-handed unless Krishna comes once in a day of Brahma. And even when he comes once in a day of Brahma, they're confused. Brahma was confused. Indra was confused. The stories are all there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Brahma didn't understand the two-armed form of Krishna. Indra didn't understand the whole Leela of Govardhan. Indra thought, who is this talkative child? Even he couldn't understand it. So the two-armed form of Krishna, Krishna is saying, difficult to behold. Very difficult to behold. Demigods are ever seeking because it is Somya Vapu, the beautiful, great form. Who can see Krishna in his two-armed form? Devotees who have love of God. They can see.